Hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia and welcome to the start of a new weekly reading vlog. It is Tuesday, I'm in New Jersey, things are different. I don't have my mic for this clip and maybe for all of today. Well, no, definitely for all of today because I forgot my mic at home. Why is the lighting bad? I don't know what's going on. This close from crying. This is what we're working with right now because it's winter. Winter is coming. The sun is setting. I'm home for Thanksgiving break. It is Tuesday. I just took the train in and I don't have a mic. I left it at my apartment, which is a problem for me because I am filming a ton this weekend. When is this vlog? Hi, how are you? I'm so excited to be filming this vlog because if you didn't know, I haven't had my camera in functioning quality for about a month. It broke and it had like the literal simplest fix to it and it's literally so aggressively, stupidly simple that I won't even tell you how we fixed it because it like makes me mad. If you want to know, DM me, but at this point it doesn't matter. All we know, my camera's working, I don't have a mic. Welcome. I have been reading though. I really like, especially on like the train ride Boston to here, New Jersey, it's like 6 hours. 5-6 hours. I like to read a book from start to finish, so I started Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I have 100 pages left, so I didn't actually finish this on the train, which I was hoping to because I'm really freaking loving this book. This, I would say, is normal people if it was platonic, and it like spans a little bit more time, a little bit different time period, and about video games, like gamers and gaming culture and creating video games and being work partners. I'm really loving this book because, like I said, it does have a lot of the themes from that book that may or may not be my favorite book of the year. So I'm really, really loving this. It might end up on my top 10. I don't know what's going on, but I was super invested and read almost all of it on the train. I did bring one other book because I didn't end up finishing this yesterday because I was going to leave, and I am still reading A Pinch of Magic. By still, I mean I haven't updated you, the vlog, on it, but still I've been reading for a minute. Okay, this is how you know it's been too long since you've seen your cat because she just scared me. I thought she was a rat. This is a really cute middle grade starting sisters and a curse and lots of magic fun things, and I'm like probably 100 pages from the end, and I'm really enjoying it. This is the UK edition in case you were wondering. Yeah, while I'm home I'm doing lots of filming, lots of relaxing. I do have a project due tonight. What's going on? I'm getting my hair done tomorrow. Literally what? I'm happy to see my shelves. I didn't even take a look at her. Well, it's 4 o'clock and I'm going to probably work on my project. I have to get that turned in by midnight and probably crack attention. I finished this book. You know, I sat down and I did it. You know what I mean? 5 stars. Like, do I have to? This is like, so I've only seen good reviews of this book and it is, I believe, like Amazon's #1 book of the year or something like that. But I was seeing, ooh, are they actually still sprinting? They're not, it was 7 hours ago. Okay, valid. But the other day on Sprints, Gabby was saying that she was reading this and really not enjoying it. So I was very, very scared because I picked this as my train book and I was like, I'm gonna sit down and fucking read this. So anyways, that is all to say that I adored this book. I think one of the best ways I could describe this book, I kind of gave you like a synopsis, a rough synopsis at best, but one of the best like adjectives I could use to describe this book is dynamic. I think that this is such a character-driven story. Like, give me a character-driven story any freaking day about good characters sitting on an ant farm for all I care. I don't care, but give me some well fleshed out characters, and these characters were so dynamic. Like I said, like the plot moves along so smoothly. The transitions between the different timelines are seamless. I do generally like have a lot of trouble with kind of like jumping through time and perspective, and this is kind of like a limited omniscient, that is literally an oxymoron. This is a limited third-person perspective book. The chapters are kind of grouped based on like kind of timeline, but I'm telling you, I read this book and I was like, are we sure this isn't real? Are we sure this didn't happen? Like, that is how real this felt. Maybe because I've been reading a ton of nonfiction, but I did feel like it was like low-key a memoir, and there were like bits of like interviews and stuff, and I was just so convinced, and I feel like this was such a cleverly written book. It was so smart. The characters were all deeply, deeply flawed, but ended up being so like likable, you know? And you could really like see every facet of their personality and every side of every kind of disagreement and argument and conflict in the book, and it's incredible. Like, I think this was so masterfully done. Like, it had such an intricate backstory for every character, their family history, and I feel like every single moment of their life was so well plotted out that the characters felt so real. It was incredible. It's 5 stars. I said this before, and I said like when I hauled this, like this is the most random list of people to blurb a book I have ever seen. John Green, Aaron Morgenstern, like Rebecca Searle, Nathan Hill, Tayari Jones. Like, this doesn't make sense to me. And you kind of see it because there's no magic in here. This is a contemporary story, but there is a lot of like game culture and gameplay. If someone told me like very vaguely what this is about, I would be like, okay, I get it, it's friends, it's gamers, whatever. But I'm not a gamer. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't play video games. They don't interest me at all. I like books, clearly. But like, I was like, okay. Like, it gave you the education. It didn't talk down to you of being like, oh, you don't understand this culture that we're talking about. It was so well done. I can't even. But also, I want to say that, first of all, this looks like a huge book and it's not even 400 pages. Have I mentioned that it's beautiful? It is beautiful. Maybe this copy in particular, or maybe just like this book in general, the printing of it, like the pages are thick. Like the pages are sturdy. So if you're concerned, you're like, wow, this is like a heavy chunkers. It's not. So don't worry about it. Once I get my mic tomorrow and I get my hair done and stuff, I am filming lots of end of the year and lots of Vlogmas videos. One of the questions that's like the end of the year book tag question, whatever, is like a book that might surprise you and become your favorite. And like, I don't know if this is gonna be my favorite of the year, but I definitely think it's up there. It has all the elements of a story that I love and adore. I like want to reread it. It's upsettingly good. I love how platonic it is. I'm done with that rant. I have to read A Pinch of Magic. I don't even know what else is on my TBR. Actually, I do. I'm also doing a 24-hour readathon at some point this week. I have to read my book club book, which is the Atlas 6, and I really don't want to read it, but I'm making myself read it in my 24-hour readathon so that I will definitely get it done. I say that. Other than that, oh, the audiobook I'm going to start. Let's talk about an audiobook because I'm not listening to anything right now. I did have 2 audiobooks this month, and I feel like that's so upsetting to me. Anyways, I'm going to start Kiss Her Once because I recently finished my 3rd draft of my book. It's actually here. This isn't the 2nd draft, but it's here. Isn't that cool? It's like a whole book that I wrote. Anyway, this is the 2nd draft. I finished the 3rd draft. I was like pushing off all of my Christmas books and now I'm like, give me all of them right now. This one is sapphic and it is about bookstores, maybe? Maybe they meet in a bookstore. Fakes her engagement with her landlord only to fall for her sister. This is the author of The Charm Offensive, which I also own physically, but it's in Boston. But I have this out from the library, so I'm gonna read it. Anyway, so I have to get ready for bed because I've been up since 6 o'clock in the morning and it's almost 9:30 and I have to get up again at 6 tomorrow to go on a run.
Hello, my lovely friends. A new mic has been acquired. Shout out to the Amazon delivery guy for getting this here so early. Yes, I have a new mic. I'm very excited about it. I'm still mad that I forgot it, but you know what I mean? The cord is just kind of annoying me. So it is the day before Thanksgiving, so prep has commenced. I'm gonna run this morning. I gotta get used to running here. It's different. I run lots of like parks and stuff in Boston. At home I like have to run on the sidewalk and stuff and that's kind of hard on your joints. So you don't care. Anyways, I did pull out. I told you I am reading A Pinch of Magic. I didn't get like, I got like 2 minutes into my audiobook, so we're not talking about it. But I am gonna read more of A Pinch of Magic today, hopefully finishing it. I don't really have anything else going on. I have a doctor's appointment and a hair appointment. Hello, roots. That's all like later. So I'm hoping to finish this up or over halfway done. But I did also pull out the Starless Sea. I think I told you I was rereading this. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. November, December are like such rereading months for me. I think it's a common theme for people, just like rereading favorites. And this is my favorite fantasy probably ever. I also love the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series, which I've read a lot. But this is probably my favorite standalone fantasy ever. Definitely. And I did like check it out from my library and start reading it last weekend, I think, just because I was like, I need joy in my life, in my reading life, because I was reading the Atlas 6 and it was garbage. So watch me love the Atlas 6. I don't know. But so I picked this back up because I have my beautiful edition that I love to death. I love the new Waterstones editions though. The paperbacks. I'm just like sending good vibes into the universe. I want them. Meaning the Night Circus and the Starless Sea editions look so pretty. Anyway, because I want to annotate and I have like little tabs, but I don't have like, I haven't like penned in this or written in this at all, and I don't want to because it's fucking gorgeous and I don't want to ruin it. I'm currently 130 pages into it. This is like my comfort read and I probably am going to pick this back up because I adore it and I want to be back in this world and with these characters and have a good time. Yeah! I'm not filming today. I'm filming tomorrow because I'm not getting my hair done until like 5 o'clock, so I'll be back at like 9 o'clock and it'll be done, so hello my friends. So we have been making stuffing, and by we I mean I have not done anything. Cooked it yet. It needs to be cooked. I have been reading more. I have a doctor's appointment at like 15 minutes, so I'm just like hanging out. I have been reading more, so I have like less than 100 pages left of this one. I'm still liking it. I think this next like less than 100 pages is going to be make or break as to what I'm gonna give this, because it feels like a 3. Like, love middle grade. I've said this before. I love the whimsy and the magic of them, but because there's so much out there, I don't want to be reading the same story over and over again. And I don't feel like this is that. Like I said, I love like a curse and I love like a lot of the elements, sorry, a lot of the elements in this book, but I'm not exactly having the most fun reading it, if that makes any sense. I have some tea here.
Some English breakfast tea. Can't see it, but whatever. But I also wanted to mention that I finally got the audiobook for Nevernight, and I have had this on my TBR for so long. I bought this forever ago, used. And I also have Godgrave, and I have wanted to read this. I have even started it. There's tabs in it. Okay, there we go. I think I got like 52 pages into it, but I cannot stand the footnotes. It just my brain doesn't work. I have been dying for the audiobook, and now that I'm finally a card-carrying member of the Boston Public Library, I have the audiobook. So I am so excited to read this. I don't know why I'm in my fantasy bag right now. I think it's a winter thing. Maybe it's a new era me thing. I need to get my hair done because it bothers me so much right now. I'm gonna get it today. It is bothering me. Anyway, so I'm very excited. This is probably gonna be my next audiobook physical read combo move, which this was. So it's gonna it's gonna swap out. Although I have just been reading this and not listening to the audiobook because I've been hanging out with my family. That's also probably why I'm not enjoying this that much, because I have not been like sitting down to read this in like a silent room or something like by myself, because I've just kind of been carrying this around with me as I've been hanging out with the fam today. So I've not been paying too much attention to it, but it's a middle grade, like how much attention to it. Good morning, beautiful people. This is my first time using my voice today. Finally feel like myself again. I'm not myself before my hair is done. So I am going to finish the last few pages I have left of this book, which isn't that many. It's like 50 pages. I'm gonna do that while I eat some lovely breakfast that I'm gonna make for myself. It's gonna be lovely, I know it. I probably will have to get started on filming. So I'm thinking about holidays and like big eating holidays, and we always like start eating so early and you're just eating for so long. It's like, ugh. I'm sorry, I just rubbed my eyes. If I look like I'm crying, because I literally just I watched this really fun movie last night, and I would recommend it, honestly. It's called Metropolitan, and it has the guy who played, and I can't even figure out who he played in Gilmore Girls. It was eating me up. Jason Stiles is who he played in Gilmore Girls. Anyway, other than that, there's kind of like a bunch of actors that I don't really recognize, but it is a movie that is basically like this very voyeuristic kind of observation of this guy who joins in this like elite kind of Upper East Side group, and you just kind of watch them discuss the philosophical and political, and you just kind of watch them talk about them, and it's just basically all dialogue. You just kind of like watch them have these parties and have these things. There's like a little bit of a story to it, a little bit of like a kind of persuasion-esque romance, but other than that, it's like kind of just watching these people, and it's super interesting. I would describe it as The Secret History meets like Gossip Girl. Kind of just like those conversations of normal people at the parties, but just all of that, like it's just all of those like philosophical, and they don't really have a lot of like existential debates, but they have like just like a lot of like philosophical and political debates and discussions, and it's like, it's very interesting, and I really liked it. It was like unlike any other movie I've ever seen, so I also think you would like it if you like Gilmore Girls, because there's a lot of dialogue. Anyway, it is getting late. I also have to catch up on my Marvel things before I see Black Panther on Saturday, so I don't know what I'm doing with that. And tomorrow I'm doing a 24-hour readathon. This happens every time I do a 24-hour readathon. I forget that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna set an alarm. Hello, beautiful people. I have not checked in all day. Thanksgiving is over. It was great. Loved it. Good time. Get 42% into Kiss Her Once for me. I am enjoying this. This is kind of, it's a very like funny situation. It's told in kind of like a dual timeline where this girl meets this other girl, and they kind of have this like snow day together that I guess is like on Christmas. That happened last Christmas. It was kind of like a one night stand kind of. And then this Christmas, our main character, kind of like doing a kind of marriage of convenience, engagement of convenience with this guy who's like her landlord, so that he can get like an inheritance and she will get some sort of like money out of it because she's broke. And he goes home to his like family home for the holidays with him, and finds out that his sister is the girl she had a one-night stand with. So isn't that fun? I think it's fun. It has like a web comic element. I got to 42%, but I lost my loan from the library, so I think I'm going to probably download the ebook and finish it off that way, because I am enjoying it and I do want to see it through, but I'm not exactly like, yeah, I'm not gonna like DNF it. I'm not like loving it, but I want to. I think it's cute. The only thing that I didn't love about it so far is that it kind of started with that relationship and kind of like the intimacy of that relationship, and that didn't really, that's just not my favorite thing. I really like a slower burn, a slower build, because I feel like that's just way more satisfying as a reader, rather than kind of being like, oh, this is like the memory that I have of that, and obviously like you don't feel that exact connection to that character yet, so and that relationship. So I just feel like that's not exactly the best way to go about doing that, but obviously because it's dual
timeline, it kind of has to do that. But anyway, but I also did finish A Pinch of Magic just now. I have to like cover this light because this is my reading light. I think I'm giving it 3 stars. I am giving it 3 stars. I do think I will continue with the series, at least to the second book. I gave it 3 stars though because I don't think it was like great. It was like grand, but I do think it was fun. Like I said, I like A Curse. I love the sister relationships, and I did find it fun, kind of how it ended. But I do think like there is like a little bit like it's a little clunky to me, just the plot wise, like and the pacing of it. This whole first part felt super slow to me, and then it wasn't until like this part that it really got going, and we were really like getting somewhere. I'm so fucking like shallow, but I love this edition so much, and I do want to read. There's so many books in the series, and I love Middle Grade so much that I'm going to give it another shot with the sequel. I think I'm just gonna get the sequel from my library though, and not commit to buying this. I did buy this used. So I'm probably going to stop my reading for this vlog because I'm going to be starting a 24-hour readathon, which I keep going back and forth about because I get so tired. Honestly, it is because I haven't done one in a while, and I really want to do one, and I'm doing one now, and then I also want to do one in December, at least one in December, not 2. So we'll see you guys on Saturday for the rest of my reading, and I can't really tell you what I'm going to be reading next because I'm going to be reading it for that vlog, and I'm not sure what I'm going to end up finishing for that tomorrow. So we'll just like skip a day in the timeline. You guys won't even notice, I promise. So I will see you guys on Saturday. It is time for me to wrap up the vlog. Hi, how are you? So it's time to wrap up the vlog. I need to do this because I didn't do this before. That 24-hour readathon just kind of like wiped me out. And I read, you know, some for that. You'll see that video. But like, I just was like, I don't want to read. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to like sleep. And I filmed like 6 videos when I was home. So I'm obviously back in Boston. You will see this in my Vlogmas videos that are coming up shortly. But let's wrap up my reading that you didn't see. So another thing I didn't update you on was my train read. So I usually read on the train, but I didn't feel like reading really that much on the train, so I read like this really short, I think it's a novella, and it's this horror novella. It's called You've Lost a Lot of Blood. I think this cover can be triggering, but sorry. Because I recently read another short horror for my 24-hour readathon, and I was like, oh, I like forgot how much I love short horror, and for some reason that's like when I wanted to, I was like, I don't want to read any of these like cute books. I just like want something like nitty and gritty, and that's what I read. This is kind of hard to explain. Let me see if it gives like a synopsis. It very much does like that kind of classic or like older style of book, which is like, I found this book, like this was real and this happened, and like I found it and whatever, and like this manuscript is whatever. Very custom housey. Should I give any explanation of what it is? I don't know. It's kind of confusing. You're introduced to this young woman who is like interning kind of or working at this like video game company, I guess. It's like this really big like video game guy, and she is like living at his estate or moving into his estate, and she is bringing along her little brother, and it's kind of about their tensions and like the mysteries of like why she can't see this like famous guy, like where he is, and this like video game called You've Lost a Lot of Blood and what the repercussions of this video game are. So I don't know, I don't like video games, which is me saying I read tomorrow in this video. So I'm completely contradicting myself, so here we go. I don't like video games though, and that's what like that's why like I was like so surprised with tomorrow because I don't care about video games, and it like just, it's not even that it's confusing, but when I say it goes over my head, it's just like I don't know. It was fine though. It was like weird and like, yeah, it was kind of steampunky, I guess, and that like wasn't also my favorite, but like it was fine. I give it 3 stars. It was like whatever. Short horror recommendations are all I want right now. Half into reading, some half not, which is gonna be really exciting for December. Yeah, I guess I haven't announced that I'm doing Vlogmas, but I am doing Vlogmas. I'm doing it differently than I ever have before. I've been doing Vlogmas since I started my channel, so oh my gosh, my YouTube anniversary is coming out. That's exciting for no one but me. It's actually not that exciting for me either. But I'm doing it differently, so I'm gonna do some like sit down videos, because I always feel like I have, since starting booktube, like making booktube videos, I always like have those like December videos, like the wrap-ups, the TBRs, the tags, the like end of year videos, and I like, what am I gonna do if I'm gonna be vlogging every day and posting every day? So I've come up with a system. So you'll see some vlogs and some like sit down videos, and I think you'll like it. Okay, that's the plan, and I don't know, I just want to give you an update in case you were looking for one. I don't even know what I read in this video. Some things I didn't finish. You know how it goes. Anyways, with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe to all the things, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.